In Sao Paulo, an off-duty police officer found himself face-to-face with danger outside a gym when a student was suddenly ambushed by a robber. Acting on instinct and training, the officer drew his weapon and opened fire, neutralizing the assailant within seconds. The entire scene, caught on surveillance cameras, shows the split-second decision between life and death, a moment where courage met chaos. What began as a routine day ended in gunfire, proving once again that even off-duty, some heroes are never truly off the clock. A tense holdup in Brazil ends the moment the robber realizes he picked the wrong place. A uniformed officer on duty steps in, and the would-be thief's bluff collapses. What begins as a quick, confident grab for cash becomes a fast lesson in consequences. The suspect is disarmed, restrained, and led away while stunned onlookers breathe out in relief. The clip captures the sudden flip from danger to order, highlighting how calm, decisive action by an officer can stop a crime and restore safety in an instant. A quiet afternoon in Sao Paulo's Campo Limpo neighborhood turns deadly when a retired military police officer witnesses a motorcycle robbery in progress. Surveillance footage shows him calmly at the counter as a thief tries to steal a parked bike outside. The owner rushes back, chaos erupts, and in seconds, the thief pulls a gun. Acting on instinct and training, the retired officer draws his weapon and fires, ending the threat before anyone else can be hurt. The 24-year-old suspect, later found with stolen jewelry from earlier crimes, is declared dead at the scene. What began as another brazen daytime robbery ends with swift, decisive justice from a man who may have left the force, but never left behind his duty to protect. In the Mariponga district of Brazil, what started as a robbery turned to a deadly twist of fate. Surveillance footage captures the moment an unsuspecting thief targets the wrong man, an off-duty police officer. As the robber moves in, confident and armed, the officer reacts with lightning speed. Within seconds, the would-be criminal finds himself on the ground, struck by precise, fatal shots. The chaos that follows is brief. The officer secures the scene while bystanders watch in stunned silence. Justice, in its most unfiltered form, had just been served. Inside a small neighborhood market, a quiet afternoon turns into a gunfight captured by CCTV. Two robbers walk in, one brandishing a revolver, and announce the holdup. Panic ripples through the aisles as shoppers freeze, but among them stands an off-duty military police officer. Without hesitation, he draws his weapon and engages the armed thief. A fierce exchange of gunfire erupts. Bullets shatter the calm, echoing through the store. The officer is struck in the chest and collapses as the robber, bleeding from his own wounds, flees in chaos. Moments later, responding officers arrive, apprehending the injured suspect and rushing both men and a wounded customer to the hospital. Despite desperate efforts, the brave officer succumbs to his injuries, a tragic reminder that even off-duty, a true protector never stops serving. A would-be robber barges in expecting easy pickings, but the plan backfires when customers and staff refuse to be intimidated. Chaos erupts, a quick skirmish breaks out, and the would-be thief ends up flat on the floor as bystanders rush in to subdue him. What started as a brazen attempt to steal becomes an instant lesson in unexpected resistance and fast consequences. Four armed robbers storm a gold shop in Tak Province, Thailand, armed with guns and cutting tools, ready for a quick smash and grab. But their plan unravels the moment they face resistance. The shop's reinforced security bars stop their break-in, and when the owner pulls out a shotgun, panic sets in. Gunfire echoes through the street. One robber goes down instantly, another is hit and collapses nearby, while the remaining two flee on foot, abandoning their motorcycle in chaos. What began as a bold daylight heist turns into a deadly scene of panic, blood, and shattered ambition, proof that not every robbery ends with gold. In broad daylight outside their own home in Oakland, two elderly women were suddenly accosted and robbed by a group of youths. Surveillance footage captures the attackers grabbing belongings and fleeing while the victims are left shaken. Neighbors and police race to the scene, and detectives are asking anyone with information to come forward. A stark reminder to look out for vulnerable neighbors, secure valuables, and report suspicious activity immediately. Chaos erupted inside a Mazatlan real estate office when a masked assailant stormed in, demanding valuables from the employees. During the struggle, the gunman fired a shot that struck 17-year-old Jocelyn in the head, leaving her critically injured and sparking panic among those inside. As the thief grabbed phones and cash, he fled with an accomplice waiting on a motorcycle, leaving co-workers rushing to help the teen, a terrifying reminder of how quickly a routine day can turn into a life-threatening ordeal. In the early hours of last Friday in Sao Paulo, chaos erupted outside a lottery store in Jardim das Embuias when Gordino do Crime and his accomplices attempted a daring robbery. As the gang tried to force their way in and coerce customers, an off-duty police officer in line sprang into action. A brief but tense exchange of gunfire ensued, and when the criminal's weapon jammed, the officer fired back, striking Gordino as he tried to escape. Witnesses watched in shock as the gang fled, leaving their comrade behind, while authorities launched an investigation into the failed heist. Tense footage captures a shocking scene at a gas station, where three men confront a motorist while he's filling up his car. In broad daylight, they forcefully take control of his vehicle and speed away, leaving shocked bystanders in disbelief. The daring theft highlights the risks of everyday life and serves as a reminder for vigilance as authorities now investigate the incident and appeal to the public for any information that could lead to the suspect's capture. Voiceover. In dramatic turn of events, a pair of robbers meets instant karma during a daring heist. As they attempt to flee with their loot, a vigilant bystander, or perhaps an armed civilian, reacts swiftly, ending the robbery in a matter of seconds. The footage captures the chaos and shock of the moment, showing how quickly crime can backfire, leaving the perpetrators injured or worse, while serving as a stark reminder of the risks involved in crossing the wrong person at the wrong time. In Fortaleza, Brazil, a young student becomes the victim of a ruthless robbery gone terribly wrong. Two armed criminals confront him with no regard for life, demanding his belongings before opening fire. The shocking footage captures a terrifying moment as the student is struck, highlighting the cold, calculated danger these criminals pose and the grim reality of street crime, leaving viewers stunned by the sudden violence and the consequences of crossing the wrong path.